Good morning, students. This is Malleshwari. Okay, as of now, we discuss up to the 4 units. Okay, in this session onwards, we are going to discuss the fifth unit topics. Okay, so the fifth unit is security at the application and application transport and the network layer. Okay, so this how the security we have to provide at these layers like application layer, transport layer, and the network layer. So this is a fifth unit. Okay, so in this session we are going to discuss about the email security, how we are going to provide the security for the email. Okay, so these things we are going to discuss in this class. Okay, students. Okay, the email security is dealing with the issues of unauthorized access and inspection of electronic mail. This unauthorized access can happen when an email is in transit, as well as when it is stored on the mail services. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are sending the mail. Okay, we are sending the mail, and then the other person, he is receiving the mail. Okay, so here what is happening means, when we are sending the mail, the other person can access our mail. Okay, there is a chance, there is a possibility. So to this one, we have to provide the security. Okay, to avoid this unauthorized access, we have to provide the security for the mail transmission. Okay, the mail has to go from any untrusted servers to reach its destination, and one can interrupt or modify it to harm the sender or to make some profit. Okay, so here what is happening, when we are sending the mail. Okay, when we are sending the mail, it has to go from many untrusted servers to reach its destination. To reach its destination, it has to undergo with many untrusted services. So that time there may be a chance to modify it. Okay, the message can be modified. So to avoid these things, we have to provide the security for the mail. Okay, so here when we are sending the email, so we are expecting these services like the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, so these are the services we are expecting from the email transmission. Okay, first one, what is the confidentiality? Okay, here the email should be only waived by the person it intended to. Okay, whenever the person is okay whenever the person sorry whenever the person is sending the message to B, so that time what it should be, the mail should be only viewed by this B only. Okay, that is a message email confidentiality. Okay, next, integrity. Okay, the original content should be received by the receiver. Okay, here I am sending hello. Okay, here I am sending hello message. Okay, sorry. Okay, here I am sending the message, like A person is sending the message to B, like he is sending hello. Okay, hello. So here this whatever A sent message, no, it should receive by this receiver. Okay, so here what is happening, other person can do modification instead of hello, like he will modify this one. It should not happen. Okay, so that only the integrity, the original content should be received by the receiver. Okay, that is the integrity service. Okay, next, the availability, the receiver should be able to access the mail anytime he requires. Okay, here availability, so here the person A is sending to the receiver B, so the receiver at any point, at any time, he can has to access that mail. So that is the availability service. So these three services we are expecting from the we have to expect in the mail services. Okay, so this one, so for providing these services, which can what we have to do, that we'll see. Okay, so here steps to secure our mail. Okay, to provide the security for our mails, at the sender side we have to provide the security, receiver side, and then the transmission. Okay, sender side, receiver side, and while transmitting. Okay, while transmitting, we have to provide this securities. Okay, next, at the sender side. Okay, at the sender side, what is happening? So the at the sender side, it can be implemented by the non-technical person. Okay, non-technical person at the sender side to provide the security, and it should be implemented by the non-technical person, like any person. Next, use in cognito mode while sending the mails. So here we have to use this mode to send the message, and then avoid using the public computers. So here the public instead of using the public computers while sending the important information, we have to use our personal computers. Okay, next, at the receiver side. At the receiver side, how the message, how the security measures we have to take. Okay, so here at the receiver side, instead of at the receiver side, avoid downloading the attachment from the unknown senders. Okay, so here, to provide the security at the receiver, what we have to do? So while downloading the attachments, we have to check whether this is a correct authorized person or unknown person. If it is authorized, like a known person, we have to download attachment. If unknown person, we should not download that attachments. So next one, check the mail headers to verify the identity of the sender. Okay, here we have to check the mail header, then only we have to download, or else we have to open that email. Okay, so this one, this is at the receiver side. Okay, next, secure transmission of third one. Sender side we have taken measures, receiver side we have to take it. Now while sending, while transmitting the mails. Okay, so here what we have to do, we have to use this services PGP and SMIME services. Here we will discuss the PGP service only. Okay, so what is a PGP? Okay, what is a PGP? PGP is a pretty good privacy. Okay, pretty good privacy. It's a protocol. Okay, it is protocol. So here PGP and open source freely available software package for email security. Okay, so this PGP is a open source and freely available software package. Okay, it's a software package available for the email security. It provides, so what is this pretty good privacy providing? So it is provides the authentication through the use of digital signature. So this PGP service, what it is providing, it is providing the authentication, and it is providing the confidentiality services. Okay, and then compression using the zip algorithm. Okay, zip algorithm, and then compatibility using the RDX 64 encoding schemes. Okay, so what is this PGP? It is a open source and then freely available package for providing the security. Mainly, what is the PGP means? It is a protocol which is used to provide the security for the emails. Okay, here it is providing the services like confidentiality and the authentication of the emails. Okay, here we are using the zip algorithm to compress that message and all. Okay, so here email compatibility using the, here for encoding we are using the RDX encoding scheme. Okay, next. Okay, so PGP has grown very quickly and now widely used. Here are some reasons for this growing. So why this is this why this PGP got that much this growth? So why it is most of the people, why they are using, what is in that one means, here the it is a freely available software. Okay, it is freely available on the worldwide in the version that run on variety of platforms. So this is a first reason why it got that much popularity. Okay, the second one, it comes with the packages includes RSA, Diffie element for public key encryption, and IGA 3GS for symmetric encryption, and SHA for hashing. Okay, so here these and all we are using for sending the message, and for sending the message here it is this PGP is coming all with these packages. Here it contains RSS algorithms, RSS, DSS, and Diffie element public key encryption algorithm. It is having and then it is coming with the symmetric key algorithms, and then it is coming with the hashing code algorithms also. Okay, it is available with all the packages, all of the packages like this. Okay, this one. So that is second reason. Next, it has a wide range of application for encrypting the files and messages to individuals wish wish sorry who wish to communicate securely with others while over the network, while over the internet. Okay, so here it is what it is doing. It is encrypting the file messages to the individual. Okay, individual. So this one. So this is the third reason. Okay, why is it? It is freely available, and then it is including all the algorithms, all the encryption, decryption algorithms, and hashing codes also. Okay, hashing algorithms also. It is coming with the package. Okay, next. Okay, next, operational description of the PGP. Okay, so here what are the operation we are performing on the PGP, what it contains, which services it is providing. Okay, what is the PGP providing? The services for the email security. So this PGP is providing the authentication, confidentiality, compression, email compatibility, and segmentation. Okay, so these are the services provided by the PGP service. Okay, provided by the PGP protocol. So what was that one? Authentication, confidentiality, compression, email compatibility, and the segmentation. These are the services provided by the PGP. Okay, one by one we will see. So first one. So what is the authentication? What is happening here? So here the digital services provided by the PGP. Here this what it will do, this PGP is providing the digital signature. How it is doing is here. First, the sender creates a message. Okay, first the sender, what it will do, the sender creates the message. This one, first the sender creates the message, and after this SHA is used to generate the by using the SHA algorithm we are creating the digest. Next, after that the hash code is encrypted by using the RSA, with RSA using the sender's private key, and result is prepended to the message. Okay, so here what is happening? So first we are creating the message. After that, by using the SHA algorithm, we are generating the hash code, a digest one. After that, by using the RSA algorithm, by using here this digest is giving as an input for the RSA algorithm, and then users private key. Okay, users private key. Like this we are encrypting the message. Okay, so this one. Next, receiver uses the RSA. So okay, now we are sending the message. Okay, now we are sending. What we did, just we created the message, and then by using the SHA algorithm we created the digest. After that, by using the RSA algorithm we encrypted that one. So this thing, at the receiver side, what we are doing, at the receiver, the RSA with the sender's public key to decrypt and recover the hash code. After that one, the receiver generates the new hash code for the message and compares it with the decrypted hash code, and to match the message is accepted, then that is authenticated. Okay, we'll see here at the sender side we created the message, and then by using the SHA algorithm we generate the hash code. After that, we by using the user's private key and SHA algorithm we encrypted the message. At the decryption side, what it will do, so by using the same RSA algorithm we will decrypt the message. Then what it will contains, it contains the message and digest. Okay, message and digest. Okay, message and digest. So the same, what we are doing, by using the same SHA algorithm we are going to decrypt this one, then we will get the message. This we are applying the same digestion algorithm for this one, then we will get the digest. We are going to compare this digest and whatever the sender sent by the digest. Then if both are matches, then the message will be authenticated. So like this we are providing the authentication service by using the PGP. Okay. Next, confidentiality. The PGP another service, the service is confidentiality, which is encrypting the message for transmitting or stores on the files locally. So here confidentiality, okay, privacy. So in both cases, symmetric encryption algorithm CAST 128 may be used. Okay, here what we are doing for providing the confidentiality and the authentication, we are using the CAST algorithm. Alternatively, if it is not there, we can use this IDA and 3DS may be used. Okay, so these all three algorithms for encrypting the message. Okay, and then 64-bit cipher feedback is mode is used. Okay, after this one, the 64-bit cipher feedback mode is used. In PGP, each symmetric key is used only once. Okay, symmetric key is used only once. Session key is bound to the message. To protect the key, it is encrypted with the receiver's public key. We'll see the step by step in the confidential. First, what we are doing, sender generates the message and a random 128 number bit is used as a session key for the message only. Okay, 128 bit session key we are using. The message is encrypted by using this any one of these algorithms. Okay, and then the session key, how we are encrypting here, we are encrypting the message by using the one of these three algorithm and with the session key. Okay, now the session key is encrypted with the RSA. Okay, okay, the session key is encrypted with the RSA using the recipient public key and is pretended to message at the receiver. Receiver uses the RSA with the private key to decrypt the recover session key. The session key is used and decrypt the message. We'll see that. Okay, so here what we are doing, message. Okay, here the message, here this encryption, here we are using the session key. This K is session key. By using this one, we are encrypting. After that, we are sending at the receiver side. What we are doing, by using the session key, we are decrypting. After that, the message will be viewed by the receiver. This is a confidentiality. Okay, so this both, the first signature is generated, okay, for the plain text message. Okay, and then pretended to be the message signature and plain text. What we are doing, then the plain text message plus the signature is encrypted. Okay, see the steps. First message is there. Okay, by using the what we are doing, we are generating the digest, and this message, this plus this digest, what we are doing, by using this any three of algorithm, we are encrypting. After this encryption, then by using here, by using the RSA algorithm, okay, this encrypted message and then this session key plus encryption. Okay, we are here, we are using the RSA algorithm, then we are encrypting this one. This is message and then digest. After this two, what we are doing, we are using this one of three algorithms, then we will get the message. After this one, this encryption and then the session key we are giving for the RSA algorithm. Next we will get the encrypted message. Okay, so this one at the receiver side, what we are doing, like reverse process only. Okay, in summary, both services are used, and the sender first assigns the message with its private key and then encrypts the message with the session key. Finally encrypts the session key with the recipient public key. So here recipient public key. Next, the third function, first one is authentication, next one is a confidentiality over. Next, the service provided by the PGP is compression. Okay, the PGP compress the message after applying the signature but not before the encryption. Okay, here how when the message is compressing here. Okay, after applying, after generating the digital signature. So here after generating the digital signature, we are applying the compression function, not before the encryption. Okay, not before the encryption. So this one, PGP compress the message after applying the signature, but not before the encryption. This has a benefit of saving the space for both email transmission and mail storage. Okay, for Z for compression and Z minus is for decompression. Okay, so here Z is for compression and Z minus 1 is for decompression. So this Z compression and Z minus 1 is for decompression. Okay. Next, the signature is generated before the compression in two reasons. Why VR means it is preferable to sign the uncompressed message so that one can store only uncompressed message together with the signature for the future verification. The future verification only we are doing this one. Okay, this is the third one. What we are doing by here, before applying the encryption algorithm, we are compressing the digital signature. Okay, that's all. So this one, compress the data before encryption, and then encryption is done after the signing, not before the encryption. Okay, here when we are applying the encryption, when we are applying the compression function means after generating the digital signature we are applying the compression function. After that we are encrypting. Okay, so this one. Okay, the message is encrypted after the message encryption is applied after the compression to strengthen the cryptographic security. Okay, now here for compressing this message, for compressing this one, what we are doing, we are using the zip algorithm. Okay, zip algorithm. By using this zip algorithm we are compressing that message. Okay, we are compressing the digest, we are compressing the signature. Okay, this one. Next, the next one is the email compatibility. Okay, the resulting message block consists of the stream of arbitrary 8-bit octets. Okay, now however many electronic mail systems only permit the use of the block consisting of the email text. After that what we are doing, after compressing this one, we are converting this into the ASCII text values. Okay, ASCII text values. So this one. Okay, and however many electronic mail systems only permit the user of blocks consisting the ASCII text. So now what we are converting this compression thing into the ASCII text value. After that at the receiver side the same like reverse process will be happen. Okay, to accommodation this restriction, the PGP provides the service of converting the raw 8-bit binary stream to a stream of printable ASCII characters. Okay, this is email compatibility. Now the segmentation, the last service. Okay, the next one is a compatibility. The email facilitates often or restricted to a maximum length. Okay, to accommodate this, PGP automatically subdivides a message that is too large into segments that are small enough to send via mail. Okay, here what it is doing, it is dividing the message. Okay, this is dividing it is the PGP automatically subdivides a message that is too large that into segments. The large messages are divided into number of segments that are small enough to send a while. So this is happening at the segmentation. Okay, segmentation. So the segmentation is done after all the other processing including the RDX64 conversion. After this authentication, compatibility, confidentiality, and then compression, this email compatibility. After all this, and we are applying the segmentation. Here what we are doing, we are subdividing this one. Okay, we are subdividing the message into number of small pieces. This is a segmentation. Okay, these are the 6 services provided by the PGP. Okay, authentication, confidentiality, compression, email compatibility, and the segmentation and reassemblability. Okay, this one. Okay, now which keys we are using in the PGP services? Now we'll see. The PGP makes use of the 4 keys. So those are the one-time session key, public keys, and private keys, a phrase passphrase based symmetric keys. Okay, three separate requirements can be identified with respect to this case. Okay, why this keys we have to use means generating the unpredictable session keys is needed. Okay, to generate this unpredictable session keys we are using this one. Okay, one time only, one time session symmetric key we are using. Next, PGP would like to allow a user to have a multiple public key and private key pairs. One reason is that the user may wish to change his or her key pair from time to time means like frequently if the user wants to change this one and also that's why what you are doing session key one time only. So if you are generating the session key, so only one time we have to use, next time next session key, like that. Okay, next, each PGP entity must maintain a file of its own public private key pairs as well as a file of the public key public keys of others. Okay, so here for these requirements and all we are using this four types of the keys. Okay, like how session key is generating. Okay, the session key generation, each session key is used for encrypting and decrypting only one message. Okay, so by using one session key only one time we can encrypt and decrypt the message. Okay, next, the message encryption decryption is done with the symmetric encryption algorithm. Okay, so this one, so I told no, so by using any three of this algorithm we are encrypting this one. Next, the random 128 numbers are generated by using itself. Okay, so here random numbers are we are using, so this one. Next, key rings. We have seen how the key IDs are critical in the operation of PGP. These keys are need to be stored and organized in a systematic way to efficient effective use of the all parties. Okay, the scheme used in PGP is one to store the public and private pairs owned by the node, and one to store the public keys and others users own to its node. These key rings are referred to private respectively as a private key ring and public key ring. So here what we are doing in the PGP services, we are storing all these session keys, public keys, private key. Why? Because in in the future the one store public key private key pairs owned by the nodes. Then why? Because to provide the security. Okay, to provide the security we are using this rings and all. Okay, next, the private key ring. So what is the private key ring? The private key ring, we can view the ring as a table in which each row represent one public key private key pairs owned by the users. Okay, in a private key ring what it contains means it is a ring of tables. Okay, it's a ring of tables. In this what it contains means it in each row represents one or public or private key pairs owned by the user. Each row contains the entries. Okay, in one for one this key what are the entries it requires means what is a timestamp. Okay, what is a timestamp, like when this key is pair is generated, so that information, and then key id, and then public key, private key, and user id. So like each row contains this information regarding one private key. Okay, so what is this private key ring? Private key ring is a ring of this keys of table, and each row it contains the public private key pairs. So here which information it contains means when it is generated, and then the number of bits it contains, and then public key portion of the pair, and then private key portion like timestamp only. Okay, these things. Then the public key ring. The public key ring is a ring used to store the public keys of other users that are known to this user. Okay, so whatever the here the person is sending, no, so here in this what it contains means he whatever the public keys he knows, he can store that one in the public key ring table. Okay, here which information in that he will store means like same only timestamp, id, public key, and then id. Okay, these things are going to store. So this is a public key ring table. Next, Okay, at the sending side, the PGP entity perform the following steps. So what is the follow? What are the steps this PGP can do, okay, at the sender side? So what it will do, it's signing the message and encrypting the message. In signing the message, what it will do means, first PGP retrieves the sender's private key. Okay, first the PGP service, what it will do, it retrieves the sender's private key from the private key ring. Okay, using the user id as the index. If the user id was not provided in the command, the first private key on the ring is retrieved. Okay, so first what it is using the receiver by using the private sender's private key. First what it will do, the PGP takes the user's private key from the private key ring. Next, promotes the user for the passphrase to recover the encrypted private key. Okay, so what it will do, it promotes, this PGP service promotes the user to recover the encrypted private key. Okay, next, the signature component of the message is constructed. Now what this PGP will do, it construct the message signature. Okay, what it will do, it creates the signature of the message. Next, decrypting. So how it will decrypt means, the PGP generates the sorry, the PGP generates the session key and encrypts the message. Okay, what it will do, it is encrypting the message by using the session key, and then retrieves the recipient public key, and then by using this recipient public key, it is going to encrypt the message again, and then the session key component message is constructed. Okay, that is the at the sender side. At the receiver side, what it is doing, decrypting the message and authenticating the message. Decrypting means by using the receiver's private key, it is going to decrypt this one, and then promotes the user for recover the unencrypted private key, and then PGP then recovers the session key and decrypt the message. Okay, this one. Next, authenticating message means, PGP retrieves the sender's public key from the public key ring using the id field in the signature component of the message as the index. Next, PGP recovers the transmitted message digest. Okay, after taking the digest, what it will do, PGP computes the message digest for the received message and compares. Okay, so that whatever the sender sent now, and then after this PGP generated this digest now, it will compare both, and then to the transmitted digested to authenticate. Okay, if both are that digests are the same, then the message authentication, the message authenticate means it is coming from the sender only, correct sender only. Okay, this one. Okay, next, public key management. In the in a practical public key application, protecting the public keys from the tampering is the single most difficult problem, and it is the alcohol of the public key in cryptography, and a lot of software complexity is tied up solving this problem, solving one of the problem. So here how these public keys are managing. Okay, this is a one of the important thing. So this is a PGP. Okay, so what is the this PGP? So it is one of the important protocol. It is a protocol which is used to provide the security for the email. So here which services is giving means, it is offering the 5 services, that is authentication. Okay, authentication, confidentiality, compression, and email compatibility, segmentation. These are the these are the services provided by the PGP. So this is a PGP. Next class we'll see the next thing. Okay students, thank you.